one of the things that impresses me too is that the world of Walden, the play, is so specific,
Mhm.
and that the characters and who they are actually in relationship to each other, like the two sisters,
Mhm.
is such a specific set of circumstances. So I've been curious this whole time to know, what is it that inspired you to write this world, this play?
Couple different things. One thought is like my climate anxiety at the time, which this was around 2016. That election happened right around when I was like hearing the first draft out loud. I was working at a bar in New York and hearing people have all these intense political discussions around me. And I started wondering, like, what are we going to do if like we can't turn this around? Like, what will that be? What are our other options? What will that be like? And I think it took me down a path of just kind of learning as I went about climate activism and, thinking about, well, would we need to abandon this planet and go somewhere else? But at some point that becomes something scientists would be interested in doing. Is that a direction our government would go? Like all these thought experiments. And, it was a kind of a fun journey to navigate the politics of this future world. And then as far as the characters, I was really interested in a sibling relationship that felt both like so deeply full of love and also so fraught. I'm also really interested in like competition between women at a high level. And, I grew up in a family of artists. My dad is a Seattle theater artist, Jeff Berryman, and my brother, Daniel Berryman, is a musical theater and opera performer who's worked in the Seattle area as well. And I think that both my brother and I, we revere our father, and like there's some
Mhm.
element of that in the play as well. And those are sort of the subconscious things that get in the play that are really fun to then like later unpack once you see like, what did my subconscious do here in this play?
Mhm.
But I think that, the tension between the sisters, the love, the fights that they have, the memories, like all of that, I think was something I really wanted to explore. And then the character of Brian, really embodies like this point of view that is so different from how they grew up.
Mhm.
And I think that felt really important, and a really important voice to have in the play. And yeah, just the dynamic between a triangle is always sort of an interesting shape in a play also, I think.
It's funny to hear and interesting to hear how many of your like personal interests and things that you jam on in terms of like even just your personal life and the reverence for your father,
Mhm.
that find its way into the play, I think is probably some of what lends it its huge degree of specificity, which I think is so cool.